Hi everybody, it is Dr. Sarah and I want to thank you for tuning in again for another video on how we can support our mental health using natural modalities. And this specific video is on essential oils on brain chemistry. It's an introduction to one of the earliest hacks to emotional health. Now, if you've missed any of my previous videos, I've provided a full recap in the accompanying article, which I'll link to. And this article goes into how we first started our journey with the famous antioxidant NAC, otherwise known as N-acetylcysteine, and all its many uses. And from there, it intrigued me that this superpower supplement could actually be used clinically for some pretty extreme psychiatric disorders. That led me to where we are now, which is in digging deeper into the research on how essential oils can also affect very specifically our brain chemistry through their neurotransmitter modulation. Now, again, in previous articles, I went through what these neurotransmitters are and actually provided for your understanding, our Neurotransmitpedia, which goes through all the basic neurotransmitters and what their functions are that you can use if you want to decode for yourself some of the studies that we'll be reviewing. So again, if you want all of the links to the recap and previous videos, make sure you check out the accompanying article. And also there is a note on mental illness that I'm also going to be going over with you guys today as I'm recording on National Bee Day. And that's not B-E, that's B-E-E. So please support your local beehives and honey producers and take good care of your wildflowers, because those wonderful pollinators give us a lot of our food and our essential oils. They help spread the flowers for our essential oils. So again, we're going to start with essential oils' effect on brain signaling, but if you guys feel like you're missing any of the translation, make sure you check out the main article. Also, if you just want to review the recap for your fun and, just to learn more and consolidate some of what you've already learned, there's some Easter eggs there for Phase 4 of the MCU. And I'm talking about Nack's cameo as a superhero and why. If I lost any of you, if you haven't seen Avenger Endgame, check it out. It's pretty epic. All right, on to the topic, essential oils' effects on brain signaling. Now, I've stated and written before on how essential oils have been shown clinically to influence mood, and this is through their aroma and their chemical properties. They've been demonstrated to have the ability to influence our brain functioning and its physiology, and this has been shown through changes in brain wave patterns on EEGs. Now, our brain has a physical and structural aspect. It also has a chemical aspect, which is the chemical signaling, and it also has an electrical aspect, which is what these brain wave patterns measure. And all of these come together to influence how we think and what our brain actually is taking in and decoding for us. And essential oils have been shown to affect all of these. And I'm specifically focusing on biochemistry because it's a language that we can use as consumers and you guys can use as clients to take to your healthcare practitioner. Say if you're already on specific medications for your brain chemistry, or if you want to use essential oils and your docs are wondering how that will affect your current healthcare regime, you actually have materials that you can bring for them. And also by doing this, I'm hoping that it'll help educate some of my colleagues on the use of medicinally applying essential oils in their practice. So this is why I'm going kind of into the nitty-gritties. But I think it's important for us to all understand this. So let's dive in. Now, the primer that I'm talking about going into this first video that started discussing essential oils and their use for emotional health and going over Brain Biochem 101, I mentioned a 2018 review article that I want to go into better detail with you now because it explores the pharmacological properties of essential oils and their compounds' various mechanisms of actions. And it's pretty cool how this review article does it. Now, one of my favorite ways to first learn about any modality is to check out reviews and meta-analysis, because that way I'm not basing my information just on one study or one population or maybe even one author's opinion that's cherry-picking data. This is from a peer-reviewed journal, which can be biased as well, but you can always check funding to see who funded the study. Usually with meta-analyses and reviews, they're going through all of the evidence and they're providing with the limitations as well as the strengths of the studies. A meta-analysis is even better because it actually rates the studies and looks at if there was potential bias and uses a whole scientific and statistical method. But review articles are wonderful too because they provide reviews and references and resources. Again, this is important for you guys to understand as clients and even physicians so that we're not basing our decisions just on our favorite, brand of the day's use of one or two studies. We want to really know what the science is saying. So this actual review was pretty darn cool because it went into mechanisms and it used all three types of scientific studies. It used petri dish studies, it used rodents, and it used human clinical trials. And of course, human clinical trials are our preference, but because of the way the brain is, it's not very easy, besides EEGs, to do a brain biopsy and study the mechanisms of the brain outside the human. People don't like that, and it's not really ethical. So we work with what we got. But what the authors found was some pretty amazing evidence on how these essential oils and their constituents affect our brain biochemistry. And they mostly focused on the neurotransmitter GABA. Now, you may have heard of GABA. Everybody and their brother might, well, it seems like in the healthcare world, is talking about GABA and its effects on the brain. And if it, there's actually this controversy in medicine if taking GABA by mouth will actually cross the blood-brain barrier and have an effect, and if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Long story only an epic. Wouldn't that be cool if we could modulate our brain biochemistry with the inhalation of essential oils? And this study shows the mechanisms in which that could happen. Now, I provided the actual abstract for those who want all of the medical jargon and biochemistry alphabetic soup, because that's your language, you speak it, you're comfortable. For those who are not healthcare practitioners or have a background in our specific language, I translated that for you as well on the article. And basically what the articles are saying, or what the review article, the 2018 review article is saying, is that people who struggle with anxiety, insomnia, seizures, pain, and cognitive issues have used essential oils successfully. It provides a comprehensive explanation on how essential oils and their compounds target different receptors. These receptors take these constituents or these compounds in essential oils. There's like a kind of the receiving protein that causes various mechanisms as well to occur that affect cellular processes. And this occurs through ion channels. It can occur through different other types of receptors, if you want to go into detail on that, I also provide a box with just a focus on receptors that provide sources for you to dig into deeper detail. But they also show direct evidence on aromatic substances that can activate GABA receptors. And some of the other receptors that are highlighted are other neurotransmitters that are affected are serotonin and opioid receptors, and then ion channels, which affect kind of the firing in our brain and what neurotransmitters can result. And this is one of, there's a specific ion channel that's related to pain, the TRP channel for all you medical friends, that essential oils and their constituents have been shown to target. And they also highlight some of our favorite essential oils such as lemon, sage, lavender, bergamot, and orange, all having an impact on our brain biochemistry, which isn't really a surprise because we think of sage and memory, we think of lemon and lavender and citrus oils for their calming effects. But this is kind of showing the mechanism. So that you have this information, you can actually kind of get into nitty-gritty details and more personalized options for you on which essential oils may be best. So I provided the table for you, and then I'm going to go into more detail into the actual review and some specific essential oils and also my clinical experience with them to help you guys out. So I hope it will be very helpful and informative for you all. And before I stop this video, I just want to say it's really important to me to get the word out there to end the stigma on mental illness, because mental health is very misunderstood, and a lot of people might just think it's a matter of willpower, and why can't someone that's a negative Nelly just do positive thinking? Positive thinking is a big thing in the self-help world, but there's a big difference between a negative Nelly seeking attention and someone with a true biological issue in their brain with a sense of helplessness, hopelessness, and shame. And I have a strong intention to assist with ending this stigma of mental health. And many people are struggling in silence because of it. Just recently, I read an article that reported on a study of elite athletes that cited shame as a major reason why they won't get treatment for their psychological distresses. And you know, these are people with extreme motivation and ability to perform superhuman physical feats, but don't have the ability to stop their mind from running amok. This subpopulation demonstrates that mood states in those with mental illness is not a motivational or willpower issue. So if you want additional support on learning to help those that are struggling with a mental illness, I've provided a link to a podcast that I think is very helpful. This one goes over on how to help your friends with, or family or loved ones with depression, in how to support them in getting some help or you being helpful. And I also highly recommend and highly respect the work of Dr. Daniel Amen, MD, because he's ending stigmatization with mental illness and all the work that he's doing to show that mental illness is not a willpower issue, is not just a neurotransmitter issue, but it's many different aspects of our brain, physiology, electricity, mood states, all different factors that are linked to brain health that affect our mood and psychiatric illness. So please make sure you check that out. I know that you can't medicate away any brain disorder or emotion with any one intervention, including essential oils, including any magical supplement. But my hope is that more people feel empowered and truly honor the connection between physiology and psychology so that we can become a more tolerant and compassionate society and really help people that are struggling. Okay? So there you go. Please join me for my next video. I'm going to go into more details, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thanks again for stopping in at the Break Free Medicine video / website. I'll talk to you soon.